You are now tuned into Story Time to Chill with Val and Seal. It's Story Time to Chill with Val and Seal. It's Story Time to Chill with Val and Seal. It's Story Time and Chill with Val and Seal.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Storytime Chill with Val and Seal. I am one of your hosts, Miss Cecilia Seal Smith,
And I'm your other host, Valerie Johnson Reed.
and tonight we have a very, very amazing author, Mr. Bryan Carroll, with us.
Yay! Awesome. Welcome, Bryan. Welcome. This is something I thought about, Seal. He is making history tonight because he is our first male author to be featured on Storytime and Chill with Val and Seal. So thank you for being here. Welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Bryan.
Well, my name is Bryan Carroll, aka Super Carroll, and I started that from working in education. I was working in a behavior class, and all of us are educated, so we know that's an uphill battle. But I mean, those kids, they need the love, and we the people, we the superpowered people that give it to them. And it was such a tough journey. And my two teachers' aides, they would come and see me speak life to the kids and just love on them every single day. And I would walk in, I would just literally pour out my heart to the kids every day. And one day she just started saying, Super Carroll, yay. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna run with that. Because I wanted to instill something to the kids, let them know that you can be super, and it's not necessarily about flying around and drop kicking bad guys in the alley. You know what I'm saying? But just having good character and doing the right thing. So that's just a little bit about the name and just me. I'm an educator. Didn't grow up really liking school, but I'm very unorthodox with that, and I appreciate my journey. And I want kids to understand that education is so much more than reading, writing, and arithmetic, and that you want to educate yourself in general in life. And the key to that is critical thinking via literacy. So you got to know how to read. You got to know how to articulate yourself. You got to know how to interpret things. And that's how you really grow and make major things happen.
That's music to reading teachers' ears. That literacy.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You said the golden words, the magic words, literacy. Yes. Well, without further delay, Bryan Carroll, please take it away.
Okay, everybody, how y'all doing? I'm excited to have you here. I'm excited about this opportunity. Again, my name is Bryan Carroll, aka Super Carroll. As you can see, I'm the author of Super Sharing. Now, Super Sharing is a book that I wrote because I was working in a classroom with struggling readers. The statistics say that 1 in 4 in Harris County are considered illiterate, and it's even higher than that in the poor communities. So I was tasked with I had the task of teaching kids in a classroom how to read and how to do work when they didn't actually know how to read. So I had to start at the foundation. I wanted them to be excited about reading. I learned how debilitating and frustrating it could be to be tasked with doing work that you don't know how to do because you don't know how to read. So I said, I need to encourage these kids. I got to get them some social skills so they can stop fighting and acting a fool up in this class. But I also got to teach them how to read. So I said, let me love on them and let me create something. I never thought that I'd be an author because I never really valued education. I didn't really see myself in that posture. But as I grew older, I understood that I'm way more than an athlete. I'm way more than just a man, but I am an educator. And I can do anything I put my mind to. And that's what I want you to know, that you can do absolutely anything you put your mind to. So Super Sharing, here's my first book, Super Sharing. Now, Super Sharing is about not recycling your pain. Okay, because I want you to understand how important it is to share. I want you to understand how important it is to be the person that you would want somebody to be to you. So you want to exude that amazing and great energy. So right here is me on a cover. Of course, you can see I've been working out. I had to embellish a little bit, make my shirt a little tight on there. But I look like that in real life. for the most part. All right, little jokes. Okay, here's the opening page. That's me. That's little Super Carroll. That's big Super Carroll. That's little Super Carroll. Okay, little Super Carroll dribbling the ball. I can hoop. I got some game. All right. So dedication. This page is dedicated to my very own super kid, baby Super Carroll. That's my daughter, my baby girl. Shout out to baby Super Carroll. And all the super kids who haven't discovered their superpowers. It's not about flying around the world, being a superhero and stopping evil villains. Although those things are great, it's about the little things, the little opportunities we have to consistently be super by showing respect, love, honesty, support, friendliness, and much more. The Super Carroll motto is don't wait for Superman, become Superman, because the world needs your specific gifts. Be super, stay super, Super Carroll. That's my thing. Be super, stay super, Super Carroll. Now, right here, keep messing up one thing. These are the core values, okay? Hold on. Bam. Okay. Here are the core values. Now, first core value is love. Now, the key about the core values is people live according to their core values. A lot of times we have to align ourselves with the right people according to their core values. So kids, I want you to hang out with people that align with your core values. And if they don't, I want you to either encourage them to raise their standards or separate yourself, because you don't want to be around people that don't align with your core values, because what that'll do, that'll throw you off track. Okay, because friends of a feather flock together. So you're either going to be encouraged by them or you're going to be encouraging them. And I want you to be encouraging them to do the right thing, or them encouraging you to do the right thing and not going in the wrong direction. So with the foundation, I need you to be able to show love. I need you to be able to be a sharer. I need you to be able to share. I need you to be kind. I need you to be respectful. I need you to have fun, and not of the right type of fun. I need you to be able to create great and strong friendships. I need you to be willing to help others. I need you to be caring. I need you to be empathetic. I need you to show patience. I need you to show wisdom. Learn. And wisdom comes by learning. If you can't read, you can't get wisdom. All right? So read. I need you to show resilience. I need you to show consistency. And I need you to show grit. Now, grit and resilience are, pretty much kind of aligned, but you got to be able to display these type of characteristics. And if you can display these characteristics, I think you're going to do a very good job in life. I think you're going to excel. I think you're going to excel in school. I think you're going to be respectful to your parents. You're going to treat your friends right, and you're going to do a great job in general. Okay? So let's put the book up, get it up close. If you can see, Super Carroll once was a child who had few toys. All he could do was play outside with his boys. And don't forget about the girl. Shout out to the girl. I don't want to leave her out. All right. So basically, I'm just outside right here. And I didn't have a lot of toys, but I made the best of it. You know what I'm saying? When I wanted to play basketball, I might ball up a little piece of paper, because I didn't have my own ball when I would shoot around in my room. Put a little hang in the door. I don't know, that's a little throwback for y'all. But I went outside to try to play with my friends, and for whatever reason that day, they wasn't having it. And they wasn't trying to play with me. And that really hurt my feelings, because as a child, you want to be accepted. You want to have friends. One thing about kids, we live to go outside and play. I mean, nowadays they probably want to play video games, but I was the type of child where I wanted to go outside and play. I didn't want to play no board games. I didn't want to play video games. I just want to go outside and play with my friends. You know what I'm saying? Social butterfly. Just wanted to have a great time, have a lot of fun. So next page. Get it up right here. Okay. Bam. Some would let him play with their toys and some wouldn't. He always felt sad when they said he couldn't. So here that's them. They decided that they didn't want to let me play that day. All right. And they rejected me. So I felt rejected. I felt hurt. So they walked away. As you can see, my facial expression isn't pleasant. I'm not happy at the moment. I'm feeling some type of way because they walked away and they didn't want me to be included into the game. And I wasn't like that with them. So I was trying to figure out, why would they do that to me? So I really started questioning some things about myself, and I began to get a little upset, angry. Because like, if I had my own toys, I wouldn't be in this position. So as a result of me questioning myself, as a result of them treating me bad, I started to feel angry and try to want to blame my parents or even blame myself in a sense, So I don't want you to ever blame yourself when somebody makes a decision not to treat you right. Them not treating you right has nothing to do with you. That's more on them, okay? So he didn't like to feel alone, like no one cared. He always wanted to play and hope that they share. So this me sitting at my desk, trying to act like I was, I was acting like I was reading. But I was feeling sad. As you can see my facial expression, I'm hurt right now. And I'm hurt because I feel like the people that I thought were my friends obviously were not treating me fairly. They were not treating me nicely, okay? So, next step, I made a mistake right here. He began to get upset and always talk bad. He didn't appreciate what he had, and that made him sad. So right here, I'm mad, I'm upset, and I'm lashing out. And who did I go lash out at? My parents. Hey, I would never recommend that you go lash out on your parents when you're upset. They're the ones that take care of you. They're the ones that love on you and provide for you. So I was really in a bad place where I was just feeling upset, and I went and lashed out on my mom and my dad, and they definitely wasn't having that. But, them being wise and loving and knowing what to do, they decided to. There was one toy he wanted more than ever. He even said when he got it, it would be his forever. So kids, and if there's parents listening, y'all know when your kids say they want a child, they're going to want it forever. I mean, when they get a toy, they're going to want it forever. And a week later, they forget about it. Yeah, it was kind of one of those moments. But I really wanted that airplane. And I felt like that would validate me. I felt like that would make me feel good. And I wouldn't have to worry about depending on them to play with a toy. Because guess what? I'd have my own toy. So shout out to my mom and my dad for hooking your boy up with that plane. All right. So, all right. We're going to move on here to the next page. All right. Bam. Here's the next one. I hope y'all can see it pretty good. After begging his parents, he finally got the toy. You see it? Then he was filled with so much happiness and so much joy. So after getting that toy, I couldn't wait to get home. I couldn't wait to play and fly around. I was like, man, I'm official. Your boy is in there. I got my toy plane. I ain't worried about them. They don't want to play with me. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm flying my toy, but I still felt empty inside. And I hadn't identified why. And I hadn't really confronted those feelings that I had as to why I was feeling that way. But just hold on, because it's coming. All right. He went outside to play and shouted, hooray! Boy, was he glad that he didn't have to be the kid without a new toy today. So you see me right there. I'm looking real salty. You know what I'm saying? Looking real salty right there. Then I'm thinking about how they walked away from me, right? Now I'm allowing myself to get into a bitter mode, which isn't healthy. He thought about all the times he didn't have a toy to play, but not this time and not today. So now I'm getting in a posture of bitterness. And that's a very unhealthy place to be. You don't want to be in a place where you're remembering old things that are making you bitter. And now you're not in a position to make a level-headed or wise decision going forward in the future. Now, I'm not saying that you don't account for things that happen and make a wise decision. But me, I wasn't in a healthy place. And I was really upset at the time. And what I was going, and it's okay to be angry, but it's about what you do with it. Let it motivate you to do the right thing, not motivate you to do the wrong thing, okay? Because you have to identify with those feelings. I'm not saying shut them off. Confront those feelings, but make a right decision afterwards. Remember the core values we read. Love, sharing, caring, all right? Because the only thing, well, I'm going to say that for later. Hold on. We're going to get that piece. All right? Bam. Okay. As he was cheering and playing with his new toy, all day, the younger kids will come up to him and you wouldn't believe what Super Carroll had to say. Now, if you can look at my face, I bet you're probably assuming I said something really, really, really mean. Because you see them looking happy, like, dang, your boy official, you got a plane, man, let's go play with him. But you looking at me, I'm still mad, still in my feelings, holding on to something. And when you hold on to things, that's not healthy. So I was holding on to some bitterness, holding on to some resentment because I hadn't identified it. Now, it's okay for me to talk to them and confront them about the way I felt, but it's not okay for me to be bitter and mean. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not productive. And guess what? Fire don't put out fire. Only water puts out fire. All right? So he was mean and rude and told the kids to get away. He said, you better go away and get your own toy to play. So yeah, I started fussing at them. I was like, move around. Get away from me. I don't like y'all. And I don't think that was the appropriate thing to say. Not to say that you should let people drag you through the mud and just treat you any type of way and then you just come back. There are some people that are just not healthy to be in your space. But that wasn't the situation with this. We were young. We were kids that weren't making wise decisions. And guess what? I was in a position where, when you know better, you do better. Too much is given, much is required. So wisdom had been instilled in me from my parents. I had knew better. So I had a responsibility to do better because I knew better. So I had to come through and make a better decision. And I was in a position to do that. And I felt really convicted when I seen how I made them feel. So the kids started crying and ran away. When he saw how sad they were, suddenly he realized that being selfish, rude, and not sharing isn't the super Carroll way. So I realized, you know what? I'm better than this. This is not what I was taught. And fire don't put out fire. Water puts out fire. I hadn't identified them as mean and ugly, nasty people who just meant harm toward me. They just had a moment of selfishness where they kind of bullied me in an isolation way and didn't want to play with me. And was that right? Absolutely not. But I can go talk to them and we can see about doing better. Now, if they continue to prove that they act like that and in that manner, then it's not safe for me to play with them and they're not really my friends. But one offense, come on, guys. I often tell my students and tell people, don't be the type of person that needs a whole lot of patience and you want to be impatient with everybody else. All right. Because I know daggone well, my parents had to show a lot of patience with me, or my teachers had to show a lot of patience with me, or sometimes my friends had to show a lot of patience with me. So who am I to say from one instance, I'm going to cash you out and make you just totally wrong. All right. So we go to the next page. So he ran to the kids to the kids to apologize for his ugly ways and asked them if they would like to play. They replied, yes. And Super Carroll was reminded that being friendly was best. So look at their countenance. You see, everything was good. Now, right here, instead of me, right here, I poured fire on it. That wasn't right. Because I seen, I was pouring fire. But here I decided to make a right decision and use wisdom and use love and use care and use my core values that I was raised on and that I value. And I poured water on the situation. Now look, everybody's happy. Everybody's happy. Everybody's good, right? I hope y'all enjoying the story. All right. So we get right here. Bam. He remembered that his mom and dad said sharing is caring. And we should love everyone and welcome them to play. Being a nice person is the one and only way. So right here, ironically, my parents must have knew that I was going to think I was Mr. Big Stuff out there playing with my toy. Like, yeah, when you little kids, they get $1. They find any reason to bring to whip their dollar out. You know what I'm saying? It's at lunch. They want to whip their dollar. They use the bag. They want to whip their dollar out. So me, I had my toy. So I wanted to flaunt my toy. I wanted to play with it. And I guess they had a feeling that something was going on. So they came out there and they saw me making a right decision. Woe be unto me if they'd have came out there and seen me acting a fool. You know what I'm saying? I might have got something I didn't want. You feel me? So right here, next page is the next time you have an urge to be selfish and not share, remember the super Carroll way, which is to love and to care. Now look at it. They got my toy, I got their toy. We just all playing together. Granted, my airplane was worth a lot more than that basketball. I had to watch him to make sure he didn't break my toy. Don't just let everybody play with your toy. Certain toys you don't need to let nobody play with. I let them play with my little airplane, a little something like that. We started hooping and everything was all good. And it was a lesson learned from that situation. We all grew from it because they realized that they was wrong for trying to play me and not let me play the basketball. And I was wrong for fussing at them. But guess what? We rectified the issue, and we were able to come together and still establish and grow our friendship. So on the last page, look at us. We all got our superhero stance going on right here. We must love all people and treat them right. No need to fight. And we must honor each other because that's what is right. If we follow those rules, we will be all right. So look, we up there, chest up, eyes up, say it with your chest. We proud. You know what I'm saying? We proud. Everything went well. So what I would encourage you to do is treat people how you want to be treated. But I also encourage you, before you do that, is get some solid core values. Because there's some people that's dirty. They don't want to take a bath. So I don't want you to treat me how you want to be treated. Some people, kids, brush your teeth in the morning, wash your eyes, thank God when you wake up. That's the type of people. Treat me how you want to be treated because you treat yourself right. You know what I'm saying? So establish some core values. Treat yourself right. Love on yourself. Value yourself, because when you value yourself, you're not subject to people treating you bad, because now you won't normalize bad treatment because you have value and love and self-esteem. So you expect to be treated right. So you have nothing else to accept but right treatment. And when someone don't treat you like, that alarm gonna go off, and you're gonna be sensitive to that, and you're gonna let them know, and you're gonna remove yourself from the situation. So get them core values right. Then once you get them core values established, then you start having expectations. You gotta have expectations. You know what I'm saying? You got to have those expectations, you know? So I don't want y'all to recycle y'all pain, love on people, create healthy friendships, share, you know, be a good person right here. Y'all like the book. Don't forget, all us teachers, we know you don't just create no lesson plan, but you got to have more follow through. So right here, I got a blueprint of what to do to share, you know, but also right here, got some work pages for you. You know what I'm saying? We got the work page, because you ain't just gonna tell me, you ain't gonna give me no cliche answer. What does it mean to share? To give people stuff? Nah, I need you to go in. I need you to go deeper. So you got to share your, in this, he had to share his emotions, he had to share his feelings, he had to share his toy, he had to share his time. So sharing goes farther than just giving somebody a Jolly Rancher or a Baby Shark toy. Shout out to Baby Shark. You know, right here, got the fill in a blank. Come on. You're going to write you some sentences. You're going to learn how to share. Bam. Come over here. What does a super sharer do? Come on. We're going to dig in. We're going to dig in. We're going to really talk about sharing. I'm going to put you in situations, circumstances where you're going to have to explain to me what it means to share and what that looks like in your life and how that's relevant to you. Because adults, we need to work on sharing too. All right? We need to work on sharing. We up here trying to teach kids how to share, but we don't be trying to share. All right? What does a super sharer look like? Draw me a picture in the book below. Draw me a little picture. See when you got some stick figures or some anime type style drawing. See where them skills at. Right here. Synonyms. So they can learn other words associated with it. You know, so it's so important to read. It's so important to gain understanding. And reading isn't just reciting the words. Reading is being able to talk about and understand what you're actually saying. Comprehension. I can say a word and not know what it meant. First time I took the SAT, I said a lot of words on the test, but as a result of my score, you could tell it was indicative that I didn't know what that stuff meant. All right. So reading is a good thing. And I'm gonna read off a stat to y'all real quick. The average child from a professional family hears 250,000 words per week. Okay. A child from a working class family hears 125,000 words per week. A child from a family receiving welfare benefits hears 62,000 words per week. So from 215,000 in a professional family to 62,000. Now you multiply that by 5 years. You multiply that by 5 years. That's over 1 million word gap. You multiply that by 10 years. And you keep going and you keep going. See, when you know how to read well, when you read, your brain functions well. Your brain is expanding. It's functioning. It's expanding. You learn how to think critically. You know, everything works better when you have understanding. So we want kids to think critically. We want kids to understand how to read. We want them to do well on their tests. We want them to do well in life. We want them to matriculate through school. You won't feel lost and disengaged in class because you know how to read. And because you know how to read, you know how to understand. Because you know how to understand, you know how to perform. Because you know how to perform, you do well. And everybody likes to be celebrated. Everybody likes to do well. So let's make these connections. Let's make reading a priority. Yeah, let them go play basketball. Let them go play football. Let them go outside, play video games, you know, watch YouTube, do whatever they do. That's cool. But make sure they know how to read. You know, make them do at least, you know, I'll say like if they real low, get the stamina, start out with like 10, 15 minutes, then build up each week. But a lot of issues we are seeing with the kids in school is they don't have no stamina to have a stillness and to be disciplined. Because the only time they're required to have a little bit of discipline is when they go to school. You know what I'm saying? Say at home, you might, say you're gonna whoop their butt or whatever the case may be, but they ain't developed no discipline. So that's fear-based. I need you to sit there with your child, make him or her read, build some buoyancy, to combat the laziness or the fact that a child naturally don't want to do work. That's cool, that's natural. How many kids really just want to sit there and read books? Not many. I make myself read every day and I don't want to, and I'm a grown man, but I make myself do it, So what I encourage you to do is make your child read, make it fun, give them some things that they're interested in, and let them do things they're not interested in, because we don't want them to get so focused on, I only do stuff I want to do, but make them read. Get that stamina up so when they take these 3, 4, and 5 hour tests, or when they got to sit in school, they do well. Online right now, we're in a pandemic, a lot of people got to do online. But that's not working, because a lot of people don't want to sit in front of a camera unless they're watching and doing what they want to do. But when we build that discipline, get a stillness, and build that stamina, we can be successful in so many different areas of our life. So my name is Bryan Carroll, aka Super Carroll, and that's all I got for y'all tonight.
All right. Wow. Thank you so much, Bryan. You shared so many things, and it's like all the questions that I really want to ask, you already shared it. But I do want to go back because I did notice that there were a few people that got on after you started. So
Okay.
tell us this: why was it important for you to write Super Sharing?
Why was it important for me to write Super Sharing?
Yes.
Because, in education and working with kids and even doing after school programs at daycare, selfishness is in recycling pain was such a big issue. If people usually hurt people. So kids that don't get shared with, they can't wait to get something so they can share. Or a kid that don't got shoes, they get clowned on about shoes, can't wait to get some new shoes so they can go stun on somebody else. So I said, man, I gotta make something fun and put it in a story of a situation that I've experienced, that I've seen happen. And I want to try to get a message out to them where, because, with kids, being teachers, sometimes you got to trick them into learning. So I'm reading the story, I'm clowning, having fun with them, and they're actually learning the story.
Right. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Who would you say has been the biggest influence on you, whether it's an author, a person, or even a few people? Who would you say has had a huge influence on your life?
Jesus. Okay.
All right.
My definitely Jesus, though, for real. But my mother has been, one thing I always say, I am my mother's son. Okay. So she's had a big influence because she never quit. After everything she's been through, she never quit. She graduated college when my sister graduated college, her daughter, because she never quit. I remember she would be at work and she'd get off of work and then we'd be out of school. We had to go to class with her. And it's crazy because I hated school, but I found myself, I ain't want to sit in the lobby because all I was doing was looking at the vending machine. I ain't had no money to get nothing to eat. I'm like, dang, you know what I'm saying? So then I go sit in the class. Her college teachers were cool, and I'd be in there raising my hand sometimes. And I thought, oh man, it's kind of cool. But my mom, she would just never let me get up. And I was like a really good baseball player in high school. And one time, I ended up getting drafted out of high school. But the way that happened is that there was a tryout, and I went to a poor school. I played summer league baseball, and I used to ball out, right? But the school I played for was sorry. We might win 1 or 2 games, and they were giving like accolades based off the school at that time. And it was a regional game to make an all-star team, and I didn't want to go. And I never forget this moment, because usually with sports, mamas be like, "Oh, your leg hurts, sit down. You ain't got to do it." But I'm like, "Mom, I'm good." But I was ready to oversleep and not go. So I was like, man, they ain't gonna pick me anyway. Look at the school I come from. And my mama looked me in the eye and said, boy, you better get up. And she just empowered me and encouraged me. And I never forget that. As a result of that, I went out there with a chip on my shoulder, killed it, got the exposure I needed to make the all-state team, and put me in a position where I was able to get drafted out of high school as a result of that. But it was just a small example of the little things that she don't even notice she did when I seen her working two jobs. I used to wait for her. My bedroom was by the apartment door where I could hear her keys when she got out of the car. And I wouldn't go to sleep every night until I know she got home. Little things like that, like her just being willing to do whatever it took. So that's one. That's just a couple situations about how my mother really inspired me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. So Bryan, what advice would you give any aspiring authors, whether there are children that want to be authors or adults? What advice would you give them?
Just do it, because look, I had like a 2.2 in high school. Like when they used to tell me to read, it's like my skin used to hurt. I know, kids that get in trouble in school can relate to me because I used to get in trouble. They used to make me go on the jail trips, and I used to be up there like, I mean, I get in trouble, and I ain't that bad. You know what I'm saying? Like that. But I used to hate to read. So one day, I would make myself read every sign when I'd be sitting in the backseat of my mom's drive. I'd read every sign to the point where it's like I got obsessive. Oh, I couldn't stop reading. I was like, oh, shoot, stop reading them. You know what I'm saying? But I went from that, and as a result of those gaps and the lack of just trying in school, I didn't have a lot of confidence academically. So I always say just do it, because look, if I could do it, and now don't get me wrong, I'm smart. I know I'm smart. You know what I'm saying? But like I didn't have that confidence because I wasn't trying. And a lot of times we look at ourselves like, I can't be an author. I can't do this. And I realize I'm in a percentage of people that's this big, this small, because I just said, you know what? The audacity. I got the mitigated gall to actually do this. And I don't care what nobody else say. So my advice to you is to just do it. You know what I'm saying? Just do it.
Yes, thank you
Yeah.
so much for sharing that. That's amazing and that's powerful by itself. You're telling your story. Another question I have for you. I noticed in your book you included work pages at the back of your book, the crossword puzzle, the draw a picture, the fill in the blank. Why was it important for you to do that with your book?
Well, it's because a lot of people just write a book, and I notice like when we do lesson plans, you got some teachers that assume just because you said it that they understand it. Nah, I'm the type of teacher.
Right.
I know what it feel like to be in class, like, huh? So I know that look, and then my students when they say, "Yeah, I know," but boy, I know you're confused. I was confused for like 12 years in school, so don't be lying to me. I know that look, you know what I'm saying? So I
Right.
leave out my class, and I don't want you to leave from reading my book without understanding the point that I was trying to get across from you. You know what I'm saying? So I like to dive in. And I'm certified in special education, so they always talking about differentiating instruction. I know about different learning styles. So I want to on all the different learning styles, and I don't want you to leave and read my book and not know how to share. I want you to have a complete and clear understanding of what I'm trying to teach you, what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, that's good. I think
Awesome.
that
Thank
I think that like how Bryan is explaining, because we're all educators, but
you.
and parents. So we all have children. We all know how it was at one point in time when it was like it just wasn't clicking. Like you needed
Hmm.
more. It's like, but the teacher be like, okay, everybody got it. Raise your hand, got it. Okay, got it. We
Hmm.
moving on. But it's like they really don't have it. So I think it's
Yeah.
very much so important, like Bryan said,
Hmm.
to include activities, include something to where it's like it doesn't feel like learning, but you're learning, and
Yes.
it's something that is high interest, and it's something that's fun for them, so that they'll always remember it. Like even me, I'm at 30 years old, I'm not going to forget super sharing because it was so fun.
Right.
So I love what you did with the activities. That was dope.
Yay.
Yeah, that was good.
Thank
Awesome,
you.
awesome, awesome. So, Bryan, Carroll, without telling us too much, what is next for you? What's coming up next?
Well,
Inquiring minds want to know.
during this pandemic, I've written like 8 more books. So we're working
Awesome.
on releasing the rest of those. I had the 14 core values right here. I extended it to 32, and I created
Okay.
lesson plans with a curriculum and a pacing calendar for all of them for the educators. So in your classroom, I know y'all don't want nothing extra because y'all teaching is already hard enough. So this is something where you can literally put it and just walk through it. It's real simple. I done did all the work. The kids gonna like it. Wait, I want to do a book tour. I had one set up, but then COVID kind of messed it up. Because I want to come up there and interact with the kids. So we're working on getting even a virtual book tour, but also once everything is done, going in there and really just, you know, really get my consultant going on, because I was able to make a lot of headway and make a name for myself in the classroom, because I could love on those kids and get the kids that were deemed hard to reach to learn. I could get them to be excited about learning. I could get them to behave, So
Right.
I want to be able to teach educators how to do that, because I know I wasn't bad. My coaches never had no issues with me. You know what I'm saying? If somebody would have said
Right.
engaging or just loved on me, but see, I'm a type of teacher. I'll walk around the class with a football in my hand. You know what I'm saying? I will do push-ups with them. I'll eat with the kids. I'll go out to recess. Recess, I don't want to stand with the teachers. They over there chilling in the corner. I'm over there on the monkey bars, flips. I will be out there wrestling with the kids, but I ain't trying to get no lawsuit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to interact. And you know what? Kids spell love Time. So I'm all about authentic and rich communication and just loving on the kids. So it's my goal to spread that good news and get other teachers to understand and help to recruit people with a high emotional intelligence into the field. So these kids and say these kids, because we're losing too many of them. And also at the beginning, when you look at the gaps of how they fall off from second to third grade, especially with the young men. You know.
Absolutely. That's so true. That is so true. And you just hit on one of my thoughts, is that I know the book is for all children, but I really think this is amazing for our young males, our young boys, to hear this message and understand, because when we look at the stats, like you say, we look at the stats and we see them in the office, we see them with the write-ups. So I think that this is a powerful message for our young boys. So thank you for writing this story. My last and final question that I have is, where can we purchase Super Sharing?
Okay, so I am here in Houston. If you message me on social media, I can actually send, or you go to the website. You can go to the website and order through PayPal, and I can mail them out to you. It is available on Amazon as well. It's available on Amazon as well. But I would prefer if you went on the website and did it through PayPal, and I can actually, you send the address and everything, I can mail it out to you, or you can go through Amazon. So those are
Okay.
those ways. Yeah.
And what is your website? Go ahead and share that with us.
www.Bryan, Bryan, Carroll, Carroll, and Associates.com. I know how to spell associates, but I ain't feel like so,
No, you're
we can
fine.
put the
I
link,
think we got it.
we can
And
put the link in there.
I
It's
will include it
Bryan
in the
Carroll,
post.
Bryan Carroll and Associates. Y'all want me to put the link in
Okay.
there?
I'll
It's fine.
tag it. Yeah, I'll tag
Okay.
it.
We'll take care of it. We'll take
All
care of
right.
it.
I do
So
know how to
see,
spell
did you
associates.
have any questions or comments?
Um, I mean, I'm still in awe because again, the book, I'm waiting on my copy. I hopefully it's signed. And I'm excited to share it with my students this year, whether it's virtual or face to face eventually. But again, I just want to know, like, how has your life changed? Similar to what I spoke with our author last night. How has your life
Mm-hmm.
changed since becoming an author? So we know Bryan Carroll, the educator, but since becoming an author, how has life felt or looked differently for you?
Well, I started to see myself in a bigger light, because it's like, you know, we don't realize how we look at authors like, wow, that's an author, or wow, that's a movie star, this person like this. And I ain't saying I'm a movie star. I can act a little, you know what I'm saying? But I started to have more confidence in myself. And then I let some people that are like super educatory, I made that word up, but they like in there with they was like, Bryan, this is dope. And I was like, for real? And they was like, yeah. I said, oh shit. And I started writing more. And I was sensing, man, this is really good. So then my sorors with my old principal from middle school. And she had seen it. She said, Bryan, this is amazing. Now you need to do a curriculum. I was like, huh? So it's like they've opened up Pandora's box in a good way. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm with all of these thoughts, and I got these curriculums, SEL curriculum, equity curriculum, social skills curriculum coming from it. And I'm like, dang, I was sitting up in the, at one point I didn't even know how to get on the internet. The internet, you know what I'm saying? I was struggling in school and wasn't really interested in reading. And now it's like I'm writing books, I'm writing curriculum. So really what it does is it sets the tone. And now, I'm getting blessed opportunities like this. It's kids that look at it when they say, man, you wrote a book? Wow. Even people, principals or something, they might look at me like, man, that's dope. And I'd be like, well, thank you. So people hit me up often and ask me about it. My thing is, I'm gonna give you information because the first time I found out about a book, a dude did his for 7,000. He said, "Man, it's gonna cost you about 5 to 7,000." Man, I got mine done for about 600. You know what I'm saying? So people call me cheap. I'm gonna say I am a stickler for good deals. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I figured out how to make some things happen. And I'm all about letting other people know that because if I go down a road that's dark, I don't want you to go down there. But if I go down a road that's lit, I want you to go down the lit road. You know what I'm saying? So my life has changed because it's kind of empowered me. It's accelerated me, giving me new ideas and put me into another place. And people looking at me that I'm really looking at. I'm like, oh, me? You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
I believe Julia Royston, she's an author and publisher and just a great friend of Val and I. And she, when I first met her virtually, of course, she told me, she was like, people don't realize when they become authors, there's a level of celebrity that does come with it. So you do have to be ready for the attention or for the need to be transparent. People are going to want to know more about the person behind the book, behind the character, your inspiration. People are looking up to you now, so they already look up to us as educators, but again, you're an author. And I remember I'm sure Val, once your students find out that you're an author, they're like on Google, they're like, oh my God,
they
like, you
do.
say this, like, oh my, and it's just like, oh my God. But it's to them, it's like, wow, I know an author, I know someone who I actually am connected. This is my teacher. They're amazing. They're an author. They're this, and it is empowering.
It is.
In a way. So yeah, that's wonderful. But I mean, there are a lot of viewers, not so many comments, but I'm pretty sure they're in just as much awe. Like I'm not often that I don't have a lot of words to say, but I'm just like impressed. I love the story. I love the book. I love your message and your brand. I did want to point out something though. Bryan Carroll was a part of the authors tour with Val and I just a few Saturdays ago. And what you see, this is just us meeting recently, but what you see, his brand is the same across all platforms. So when you do follow him on social media or go to message him about these books, you'll see just how, impactful his brand and his presence in the community and in the classroom is. So again, just be very, very mindful, everybody. Like, this is real people, real authors, very amazing people that we are bringing to you on Storytime. Chill with Val and Seal. And so I'm just honored to be in the midst. So I appreciate it.
I'm really humble and I'm thankful because, like I said, I just look at myself as silly old goofy Bryan that's trying to save the world. Working with these kids and just loving on them and just to see that message is really reaching people and that's humbling to me and I'm definitely thankful. I'm thankful for the opportunity.
Of course. So Val is going to close us out. Of course, Bryan, stick around after the call, but Val is going to close us out. Again, thank you just from me to you. Thank you for joining us today and being our first male author on the show. Again, it's historic. So thank you. You did a wonderful job. And so Val, you can close us.
All right. Well, thanks again, Bryan, for being here. We appreciate your message. We appreciate your transparency. We appreciate you seeing a need and be willing enough to meet the need. So we thank you. I'm pretty sure the students that will read this book and the parents that will read this book will thank you as well. We are just excited, and we know that your book and your story is going to go very far. So thank you for being here. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to be with us tonight. Thank you for being on Storytime Chill with Val and Seal. And we look forward to the great things that you're going to do. Thank you.
So yes, everyone, make sure you follow Super Carroll, Bryan Carroll on social media platforms. Val and I thank you for joining us tonight. Again, it's been a very special segment of Gems and Story Time with Val and Seal. Hope you have a good night, and we will see you next time.